welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be putting together my fourth and final layout using the Glow Story Kit from Ali Edwards for Story Kit Crush. This is going to be another story that will go inside of a wedding album that I am creating for my sister. The photo here is one of them walking down the aisle after saying their I do's and having a bunch of rice thrown at them. It's one of my favorite photos from their entire catalog of photos that they received. This one I am planning to do to add a couple of journaling cards along the side, a title piece, and then that is pretty much going to be it. So I'm going to see if we can do this without going on fast forward again. So let's begin with this photo. First and foremost, I do need to go ahead and hole punch this. I'm going to hole punch this side because I'm adding all of my embellishments and journaling cards to the opposite side. And the reason I'm doing journaling cards here is because my brother-in-law's face is slightly angled over to the left side of this paper or of the photo. So your eye is going to naturally go to the left versus going to the right. So I am going to take my template here and my 6 hole punch. Let's get this part done first, just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to work on these journaling cards. So the journaling cards that I chose for this particular story, one of them was originally a 4x6 journaling card, and it had these watercolor circles on it. I was thinking I was going to use it in a different layout, and so I had cut that card in half, and then ultimately decided I didn't want it to go there. So then I had 2 pieces of it here that I could use, and what I did instead was just added my journaling right on top of the cards, and then those are going to go along the edge there. So next what I need is my trimmer so we can trim all of this down to fit vertically on this photo. All right, so these cards I'm going to trim down to 2.75 by 2.75. So we're going to make these a square. And I'm going to do that for both of them. So 2.75 by 2.75. Okay. So those are the 2 journaling cards. This one, I'm going to trim it down to 2.75 by 2.25. And it needs to be a little bit smaller in order to fit in that section. Okay, so now that we have that, I am also going to grab a piece of vellum that I will layer on top of this Starburst card for a photo. So for that, I'm going to cut this, well, I'm going to just do this for now, but we'll trim it down so it's nice and even. But I want this to be 2.5, right? So it's 1/4 of an inch narrower by 2 inches tall. So it's going to make this just slightly smaller than that piece, which will be nice because then we get a little bit of the full color saturation around the outside and then the more muted color saturation on the inside. I like the way that that looks. Okay, so on top of this, I want to use this stamp set that says totally loving this. So what I want for this one is to actually use my StazOn ink since we're stamping on top of vellum. So let me grab that and then we'll get this sentiment put on. All right, so here is the StazOn. A lot of times I like to use StazOn when stamping black onto vellum just because it tends to stay a bit nicer. And it doesn't slip as much. So I just want to ink this puppy up, make sure we're good and covered, which hopefully that's good. I'm not going to prime it. I'm just going to stamp it right on there and hope it's good. So we're going to go into the middle. I should probably position this so that I can figure out the middle. It's part of the purpose in having a mat like this. Okay, so then I'm going to press that down, bring it back up, and yep, that looks good. Okay, beautiful. So then that can go back. This I need to just wipe off. I always clean my stamps right after stamping with them so that they stay in good shape for as long as possible. Okay, we'll put that back. It doesn't get all of it out, but it gets enough of it. Especially the ones like this where there's those little tiny grooves inside of the stamp. Okay, so we've got totally loving this. And then what I want to do is add this into the middle of this journaling card, and I'm going to actually staple it on there. So I've got my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and I'm just going to put a staple on both sides to hold it in place, like so. And then we can add the pieces onto the layout. So let's see. So this one's going to go at the top, and I only know that because of the journaling is an indication of that. This one's going to go at the bottom, and this one will go in the middle. And I think that looks so super good. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, so if I get my ruler here, it's 8 1/4 inches tall, which means the halfway point is going to be, you know what, we did pretty good. That is pretty good and centered. So I'm just going to go with my instinct and not measure and just add this in. So I'm going to grab score tape that I can add onto this for an extra strong hold. I've got my scrapbook.com score tape or double-sided adhesive. I don't remember what they call it. It might be called double-sided adhesive from them. With their score tape, I like to order both the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 of an inch. The 1/4 inch is probably my real favorite though, and that's what I'm using here. I like to use this in order to get a really strong hold on whatever surfaces I am adhering together. Or if I just don't feel like getting out my roller adhesive, which is what I feel like right now. I don't feel like getting it out, so we're just gonna use this. All right, so now I want to position this in the middle as best as possible, keeping it even. I'm trying to make sure that this spacing is even so that when I put it down, it is even across the middle there. And now that I have that one, I can position these on there, and actually these I think I will. I lied, I'll bring this out. I guess it is easier and quicker. I don't know. There is really no rhyme or reason sometimes why I use one thing over the other. Okay, so then this one I want to make sure is even and lined up, and then keeping that spacing all good. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. And that's going to do it. This is a quick and easy layout, but I really like it. You could always prop some of this up too on foam tape, which I considered, but I feel like with this, it didn't really need the foam tape with the staples and the vellum. It looked just fine without it. Okay, so let me clear off my desk here, and then I will read this journaling to you. All right, so let's go ahead and read the journaling for this layout. For this one, I said, a little birdie told you. For this one, I said, a little birdie told you that Axel's family brought a bunch of rice to throw at you as you walked back down the aisle, and boy, was that birdie right. I've never been at a wedding where the happy couple was doused in rice before. It was amazing. Like confetti in the air, the rice rained down on you. You and Axel did your best not to absolutely sprint to the end where safety awaited, and we all had a laugh over getting the rice out of your hair and dress. I think it helped to loosen us all up and get the party started. After you said your I do's and were pronounced officially husband and wife, you turned to walk down the aisle while the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow played in the background. Imagine our surprise when we looked up into the sky behind you and saw that out from the clouds, a real rainbow had emerged. Like a sign of hope and happiness, it was as though the skies were celebrating with us, taking you over the rainbow and into happily ever after together. It was absolutely magical and perfect. So there we go. that is my last layout here using the Glow Story Kit. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this one came together, and if you did, I would love a thumbs up on this video down below. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can catch all of my future crafty videos. Next week, I'm going to be back with my last Story Kit Crush layout using the Pieces Story Kit from Ali Edwards. That will be on Monday. And then Friday next week, we're going to dive into the next Story Kit from Ali Edwards, one of the newer ones, Delight. So hopefully I will see you back here for those. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.